Official state ceremonies to commemorate Brian Mulroney began in the nation's capital today, with the former Prime Minister's family accompanying his flag-draped coffin to the Sir John A. Macdonald building across the street from Parliament Hill. This is where Mr. Mulroney will lie in state this evening and where his body will remain until tomorrow afternoon, when the funeral cortege will move to Montreal ahead of Saturday's state funeral at the Notre Dame Basilica. Now, people have been gathering in Ottawa's parliamentary precinct all day to pay their respects, and that is where we find CPAC's Andrew Thomson right now. Andrew.
Michael, the roads surrounding Parliament Hill remain closed to traffic. This is where members of the public have been lining up to pay their respects to Brian Mulroney. Now, also today, a long line of political VIPs coming to give their condolences to the Mulroney family, including the Prime Minister and cabinet ministers past and present, party leaders, MPs, senators, ambassadors, and other dignitaries, along with Governor General Mary Simon and some former Governors General. David Johnston worked with the Mulroney government on the environment. He also moderated a leaders' debate when Brian Mulroney was leading the Tories. Here's what he says Brian Mulroney brought to public life.
I think a number of qualities. One, the empathy that he showed in his personal relationships, the trust he established on the international scene, and a person who represented the soft power of Canada and our values abroad. We need those qualities today. We'll miss him dearly. Thank you so much.
Now, Michael Jean is another former Governor General talking today about Brian Mulroney's impact on the international scene, especially his work to end South African apartheid. She's also remembering his personal touch, especially during difficult times. Have a listen.
I said to him that he meant a lot to me in difficult times, when he would take the time to call me. He did not wait for you to call him, he would call you. And his words were always the right ones. Never patronizing, but knowing the solitude that it is to be in power, to be, confronted to difficult decisions to make, and confronted to adversity. He had experienced that, and he understood it.
And Michael, that theme of reaching out, that's something, of course, you hear a lot of when it comes to Brian Mulroney. Here's another example from Aaron O'Toole telling us about what happened after he left the Conservative leadership 2 years ago during the convoy protests.
Well, after I gave up the leadership, after a vote of my caucus, when these streets were filled with trucks, it was a very tough time. I put my phone away when I got home, and Brian couldn't reach my phone, so he called my wife's cell phone. He tracked that number down because he knew a friend could use a conversation and a pep talk at a tough time. That's what's remarkable, and it's been great to hear so many other people from different political parties, from media, from academia. A phone call from Brian Mulroney, particularly after a challenging time or a death in the family, just showed a remarkable character that he had. And he'll be missed, but his legacy is our great country.
And the lying in state will continue tomorrow at the Sir John A. Macdonald building. Another chance for the public to come and pay their respects to the late Brian Mulroney here in Ottawa. Michael.
Andrew, thank you for that.